Good morning, everyone, and welcome to Djuma. This morning, very cloudy morning currently, and we've got two hyenas moving off through the bush, and I think they possibly also responding to those monkey alarm calls that we've just heard. My name is Byron, and on camera with me this morning is VM, and of course Louise in the final control. We're waiting for the Maro to join us. A few technical issues, I think possibly because of that storm last night, but don't worry. We're going to try and investigate and see what is going on with those monkey alarm calls. I've got a feeling there's a leopard in the area, so let's have a look. Hopefully we get to find it. That would be a great start for us. They've just started alarm calling, well, about 5 minutes ago. Now don't forget, we are completely live, so send questions and your comments. You can do it via Twitter. Hashtag Safari Live is how you do it. And let's see if we have any luck this morning finding a predator. I'm very curious as to why those hyenas back off in that direction. They possibly also heard those monkeys alarm calling. It's amazing how hyenas are able to track down other predators. They'll also respond to alarm calls or distress calls from animals if a leopard or a lion's possibly hunting. I just can't see these monkeys anyway. They're in the trees. I'd like to see which direction they're looking. It makes it a bit easier for us to spot whatever predator might be around. We've got to look very, very carefully. Yeah, the two hyena, three hyena. Look at this, there's three hyena now. I wonder if they're following a leopard. Hold on a second. Hang on, they might be going towards the pan. They're just moving through the drainage line. It's a bit thick here. I'm going to try to go and check out on the other side. This is always exciting, but it's also difficult at times because you don't know where these monkeys have been looking. We're not sure exactly which direction the predator that they spotted is going. I'm hoping there's a leopard somewhere here. I really am. I wonder if those hyenas are going to come and drink at the pan. Here we go. Just as I thought. Hold on a second. We're just behind camp now at Gallagher Pan. Let's turn. Are they going to go and drink? Here we go. Here's the first one. Those monkeys are still alarm calling. Oh, it's interesting, those monkeys sound like they're alarm calling from the center of camp. So I don't know which, like I said, I don't know which direction they're looking in. It's always easier if we can see that to try and find whatever it is that they're alarm calling at. Oh, this is great. Hyena coming through for a drink. Well, this is a great start. Now have a look at this. Look at the interaction between these two. And did you see how that one hyena waded through the water? Hyena often do that. They'll go right into a waterhole when they are drinking. They don't always just stand at the edge of the water like the rest of the animals, like the big cats, the lions and leopards. That one wasn't even interested in having a drink. Just moved past. There's a fourth hyena. There's a fourth one coming through. This is a younger one. These monkeys are still alarm calling. I'm hoping the hyena actually help us find whatever predator is around. Maybe they chase a leopard up into a tree. You know what I think we're going to do, Viam, is let's go back around to the clearings on the other side of camp. We'll go and have a look around there. Maybe those monkeys can see. I mean, their eyesight is so good, so they can spot predators from a long way away. So let's head back around there quickly and have a look at those clearings. Maybe we've got some luck up there. Apparently a lot of you are commenting on my choice of eyewear this morning. So I've had glasses for a while, but I never really wear them, which is probably not ideal. Usually it's at night, driving around. There's another hyena. It's going to run past us. Can't remember when last I saw 4 hyena walking together. Lou, are we still live? Okay, sorry everyone. Sorry, Louise is just trying to help the Mara sort out some technical issues, everyone. So hopefully they get that sorted out, and apparently a lot of you hoping this might be Shongile. Now, I haven't seen that young female leopard for quite some time. It would be wonderful to see her again. Heading straight back towards the camp now. I'm going to have a look around here. I wonder if there wasn't something walking across these clearings. It's nice and open. It would be easy for the monkeys to spot a leopard walking through here. Going to stop and listen again quickly. Let's hear if they're still calling. I've got a feeling they would have stopped already. No, there's still a few alarm calls, but like I say, they're right in the middle of camp, so I don't know where they're looking. Oh, this can be a little frustrating at times. Trying to look for any tracks or any sign of those monkeys. The monkeys are really a great way of finding predators because they will most definitely alert you to where they are. They never really get their alarm calls wrong. If their alarm call is most certainly a predator around. Trying to have a look around here for any tracks, but I don't see any animals that have walked through here. A few birds, nocturnal birds, some antelope that walked past, looks like little Duiker or Steenbok. Some hyena tracks. It's amazing the distance hyenas cover in a night when looking for food. Some giraffe tracks there too. You always worry when you're driving around like this if you're going to miss something. I always think we miss quite a lot out in the bush. There's scanning, and we look under trees and through the grass and up in trees, but it's not always easy. Kylie, you asked if the monkeys alarm call for lions. They definitely do. They definitely do, Kylie. So I'm assuming it's a leopard that they're alarm calling at. I could be wrong. It could be a lion too. But to be honest, I haven't seen any lion tracks around this morning. Didn't hear lions close to camp last night, so that's why I assume that they possibly just alarm calling at a leopard. But they've gone quiet now. I'm just trying to scan. See if I can see where they are. It would be nice if we heard some impala alarm calling. Might help us a little bit. Oh, this is always a bit frustrating. Look at those grey clouds above us at the moment. Still a few little alarm calls coming from those monkeys. Just the odd little. That's basically the sound they make. I'm not very good at monkey alarm call. Scanning down in that drainage line near the camp. I think there are some guests in camp at the moment, so I wonder if they see anything around there. I'm sure they will alert us if they do find something. Some of the other guides around. It's starting to spit a little bit of drizzle coming down. Not much. I really hope it doesn't rain. Oh, and this isn't going to be very good for my glasses. screen. Some elephant tracks here from yesterday, looks like. There's been a lot going on here, which is good. Now we just need to find this predator that's upset those monkeys. Now, Roshni, you asked, could they perhaps, those monkeys, could they perhaps be going crazy? Excuse me. After seeing a raptor. I'm sorry. I think a raptor flew into my throat. Roshni, so monkeys, the only raptors I've really seen them alarm call at are those crowned eagles, very, very big, powerful eagles, and the crowned eagles hunt the monkeys. I haven't seen them alarm call at other birds of prey, and we don't get crowned eagles in this area, so it's highly unlikely that they would alarm call at any birds of prey here. Maybe a martial eagle, maybe. I've never seen monkeys alarm calling at a big martial eagle, but that could be a possibility. But like I said, the crowned eagle, definitely. If they see the crowned eagle circling above, they will alarm call at that bird. I've seen them doing that before. All the way up in Zambia, I took guests up on safari there. Also very beautiful country, and we watched the monkeys alarm calling. We had a look. We thought, well, let's quick. Can you see? There we go. There's a Warburg's eagle up in the tree. Have a look. Speaking of raptors, there's a Wahlberg's eagle. So as I was saying, we heard these monkeys alarm calling and went to go and investigate. The next thing, we just saw this huge eagle flying above us, and we realized the monkeys were alarm calling at it. That eagle that bird just preening itself a little bit there. Anna Marie, you were asking, where do we find crowned eagles? Now, they prefer forested areas, generally, so huge trees, forested areas, I think. So the eastern part of South Africa. Now, I'm trying to think if they do occur in the Kruger. I've never seen them in the Kruger, but let me show you quickly. I'm just on the distribution map for the crowned eagle. I'll show you a picture of one too. They're beautiful eagles, but all along the coastline, the forested areas of South Africa, it shows that they do occur in the Kruger, but I've never seen crowned eagles up here. I'm sure maybe one of the other guides have. And then all the way into Zimbabwe and Mozambique, and get them up there, and then of course up in Zambia and that for higher up. This is just a map of southern Africa, so all along the coastlines and forested areas. And have a look at that beautiful eagle. It really is a magnificent bird. Huge talons. That's a nice view of one flying. So I'm trying to think now. Those talons are about, some of them get to about that long, very long, big talons. Powerful bird. The most powerful talons out of all the birds of prey here.
Another one behind us.
There's that. Yeah. Thanks, VM. Let's have a look. There is this well-known Wahlberg's eagle nest over here, and there is a Wahlberg eagle in the nest at the moment. So they do use the same nest annually. They'll come back and they'll use the same nest. Let's see if we can get a view of it sitting up on the nest there quickly. From this angle we actually can't see it. Do you just want to try to show the nest there? Via? Maybe we see a head or something sticking out. Also the buffalo weaver nest, or the starling nest. Sometimes it can also be the wattled starlings build nests like that. And that's the Wahlberg's eagle's nest. And you can see feathers. You see the feathers just blowing in the wind. Yeah, you can see that it was very windy last night. Looks like that branch is broken, so I don't think this nest is going to last very long. I think it's probably going to break soon, but it doesn't look like it's been used very recently. Michael, I'm not sure. You asked how long before the Wahlbergs actually lay their eggs. So I don't know. I know they get down here and they mate and lay their eggs, but I don't know how long before they actually start laying eggs. I would assume it's pretty soon, because a lot of those youngsters then grow up here and migrate with the adults again. Next year they'll migrate north. I'm still suffering from allergies, everyone. I don't know what's in the air. I think all the pollen and that after the rains and this time of year. I've never had it this bad before. See, they don't make guides as tough as they used to. I think that's a problem. Need to wear glasses now. We suffer from allergies. Yeah, bad back. Louise is mentioning things to me. Stiff shoulder, rugby injuries. Apparently a few grey hairs creeping out the back here. Oh dear Lou. It's not good. It's not good. It's because we're so stressed. We've got to drive around in this beautiful place and look for animals. It's very stressful. Not really. Now I'm not sure. I've had no sign of any leopard. I'm just going to constantly loop around this area this morning, I think, and have a look. Maybe we get lucky and we find a predator coming out. Those monkeys stopped alarm calling. Like I said, they were. Hang on. Is that an elephant through there? Yeah. Just spotted an elephant. There's 2 or 3. Just let me know. Can you get it through there, VM? There we go. Excuse me a second. Let me just quickly chat to one of the other guides. Good morning, and Paul. I've been checking around Gallagher-Pan, Vuyatela Dam. There were monkeys alarm calling about 10 minutes ago. No sign of any animals just yet. It looks like a breeding herd just off Twin Dams Road. I'm just sorry, I'm just listening to the guide, just getting an update from him. Sorry, just go again with that last part, please. Okay, copy. So apparently there was a female. Sorry. Okay, copy, thanks. Apparently there was a leopard in camp last night. They think it was Tandy that was right inside camp. Now, she has been hanging around there a few times. We've seen her once or twice near the camp, so apparently she was right in camp last night, which is, that's fascinating and always great to hear. But I'm not sure if the monkeys saw her still around this area or if there was a lion around too. They're not sure. They're going to check around too. So we'll do the same. Those ellies have just moved through this thicket. It's a bit difficult to see them now. It sounds like a few of them. I can just hear branches breaking, and every now and then I get a glimpse of a grey shape moving through this thicket. You all know elephants are my favourites. I love seeing them. But they're enjoying the thicker area this morning. So there's a lot going on. There's elephants, there's monkeys alarm calling at a predator. We had 4 hyena. What a great start to a morning. Friday morning. Every day for us is the same out here, but it is Friday for those of you looking forward to the weekend. Ah, yes, and this cloud cover, these ominous winds. Perfect for a Friday the 13th. It's Friday the 13th today. Oh. William, you were asking if Friday the 13th has any significance out here, and I was about to say, I'm not very superstitious, and VM, are you? No, not at all, VM. VM's a science guy. He's not superstitious. Hey, VM? Science and technology.
Yeah, who knows what I think?
Who knows, exactly, who knows? VM changes his mind every day. So yeah, we're not superstitious at all. Friday the 13th, just another day for us. Just scanning these drainage lines very carefully. Now we know these predators, like leopards and lions, they can move quite far in a short period of time. They can cover quite a large distance. So I'm hoping that just by us looping around and checking very carefully around here, maybe we have some luck. Checking the pans, the water holes, but as I said, you can see just in front of me, there's a nice example. There's a little puddle in the road still from the rain that we had the other day. But what that's done is it's filled little pools or little puddles all over the bush. And that just means that the animals don't necessarily, animals like leopards especially, they don't have to come to the water holes to drink. They'll be able to get water throughout the bush. So it can make it a bit difficult, a little bit harder to find them. I just saw a duiker darting off through the bush. Little antelope. They're always difficult to get on camera. They never stand still, do they? Or very seldom. Well, we're still just waiting for our team up in the Mara. We're still trying to deal with some technical issues. Hopefully we don't lose you. I don't think so. I do enjoy these mornings, and especially moving closer to summer mornings. It warms up very quickly. You can see it's still chilly. I've got my jackets on. It's still quite cool this morning. Not those warm summer mornings just yet. I'm going to miss the winter though, believe it or not. I really enjoy winter in the bush. I'm just going to go through this drainage line quickly. Just have a look. Right, we through drainage. Just had to see any tracks down there. I don't see anything just yet. See, it's quite difficult and tricky. I always say it's difficult to drive and track at the same time, because I do think we miss out on quite a few tracks. I was quite spoilt a week ago or 2 weeks ago. I worked with one of my friends, Jerry, or Tracker, that I used to work with excuse me, back at Londolezi, and I took guests there 2 weeks ago. We had a really wonderful trip, and Jerry was our tracker. It was nice to work with him again, and it just makes guiding so much easier, because he sits on the front of the vehicle and he'll have a look around for any tracks of animals. And I must admit, he's trained eye, he's got a keen eye for spotting animals in the bush. We were sitting in a leopard sighting and obviously enjoying the leopards in front of us. This is going to make some of you quite jealous. It was a female leopard with 3 cubs, and she had gone and fetched the cubs. We were very patient, sat with her. She'd gone and fetched the cubs and brought them to a kill she had made. And it was one of the first times these cubs had actually been taken to a kill. So they're just starting to feed on meat. And while we were sitting there, Jerry said he thinks he spots a kill in a tree. But it must have been about 800 meters away from us, across the river, and we could hardly see it. So we said, okay, we'll check in the afternoon. That afternoon we drove across on the other side of the river, drove around, and basically just drove through a block in the direction we thought this tree was that Jerry said he spotted a kill. Drove around, scanning the trees, came around a bit of a thicket, and there up in the tree was an impala kill with a big male leopard. He had spotted it from 800 meters away. I couldn't believe it. At least 800 meters away. It was a great spot. So it helps while you're busy sitting in a sighting and you've got someone else scanning around and helping listen to the bush. Extra eyes and ears always helps. Dumb Shark, you asked which African animal do I think best embodies the Friday the 13th, or represents Friday the 13th. I wonder. VM says a hyena with a hockey mask. Now, I must be honest, a hyena with a hockey mask, yes, VM. I must admit, so I think I would have to say a hyena too. And I think if you see the way a hyena walks with that, basically the crouched head, the high shoulders, the sloping back, and then walking around, they look a bit ghoulish, don't they? And it makes me think of that music video with what was it? It was a Michael Jackson Thriller, when he walks and they do this. Everybody does that. I can just see hyena walking around doing. Okay, I'm being silly, but maybe you all agree with me. Maybe you don't. Louise says she'd love to see our clan of hyenas doing the Thriller dance. See what happens when we don't find any animals. we could ask. I see James Henry fitting in there somewhere too. Maybe the guitarist in the background singing and doing the dance with them. Now, I'm not giving up on this area. I'm still scanning very, very carefully, having a look around, because I'm sure there's something walking through here, a predator, either a leopard or a lion. I wonder if Thandi isn't still around that camp, because remember I said the monkeys were alarm calling in the camp, and that's why I couldn't see them. I couldn't see what they were looking at. So I wonder if there wasn't a leopard inside the camp again. I would like to check this little drainage line too. Why I say I'm always checking these drainage lines, it's because a lot of these predators, and especially leopards, they enjoy moving through these thicker areas because it gives them a nice bit of cover. Now those monkeys alarm calling, that would attract unnecessary attention to a predator like a leopard. So they prefer moving through the thicker areas where they're hopefully better hidden and they're not seen. This is one of our friends. I'm just going to move out the way. They're coming this way. I'm actually just going to ask them quickly if they've seen anything. Afshan fan. Those monkeys alarm calling, but did you check around camp?
Yes, because there is the toys for my daughter Angama inside
The what? The
toy.
Oh, really?
Yeah. I keep on shouting.
Really? Oh, okay. Thanks for that. I couldn't hear properly. Enjoy. Good luck.
Okay.
Thanks. Thank you. Thank you. All right. So that's everyone. You're going to be a little bit disappointed with this, but apparently I think some guests have brought a toy, and here the guests now are doing a bit of a walk, so let's just move past them quickly. I'm just going to say good morning first. Morning everyone, good morning. How's it going? Is there a toy in camp? Is that what the monkeys are alarm calling at? I've been looking. Enjoy everyone. Bye. So I don't know if you heard that. So what happened is there's a big group of guests in camp at the moment, and they're just doing a bit of a walk this morning, and they brought a toy lion with them, and they've put it in their camp, and apparently that's what the monkeys, I don't know, it's obviously like a big teddy bear or a lion, yeah, just a toy, and the monkeys apparently saw that, and that's what they're alarm calling at. Oh, that's disappointing, isn't it? It's not April Fool's, is it? Oh, that is quite funny. That is quite funny. I'm all for April Fool's jokes and that, and so I don't know, they obviously brought it with, maybe it's a mascot for their trip. It looks like a big group traveling together, so maybe it's a mascot that they brought with them to take on their safari, and they've got it in their camp, and the monkeys are alarm calling at it. Oh well, oh well. So it wasn't a leopard, it wasn't a lion, it was a toy lion. Oh well, I wonder if we shouldn't go and check the hyena den this morning. Maybe we'll have some luck around there. Those 4 hyena moved past us. They were heading in that direction. Maybe the adults headed towards the den. That would be nice to see some interaction with the cubs and the adults. So I'm going to go or make my way towards that area and see. Maybe we've got something around there. I walk in the rain, you say. So the monkeys sound like they're also in need of some glasses. Yeah, it looks like it. They must have thought, why is this lion just standing here while we're alarm calling at it? Oh, just spotted something here. Just, can we see through there? There's a little duiker. Look at that, lying down. Maybe these glasses do work. It's a little duiker. Now, we spoke about this earlier, how difficult it is to spot these duiker and get them on camera, because they're often quite shy and they jump up and run off. This one's lying on the edge of a drainage line, probably trying to stay out of the wind. There's a bit of a breeze. It's not really windy, but it is still cool, so maybe that's why it's decided to lie down. Try to stay warm. Beautiful antelope. Now you can actually see, if you look at the face of this duiker, they've got something called pre-orbital glands. Do you see? There's like those black lines just below the eyes. Those are little glands, and they'll often use that to scent mark. Those are called pre-orbital glands. Another antelope that has those are the clip springer. Those little, or directly translated, rock jumpers. Little clip springer. Now they prefer rocky areas, but you do get them. In the Sabi Sands area. I've seen them before. I'll try and find a picture of one for you. It's so nice to see that little duiker. Not an antelope we often see. Well, on camera. Just because they tend to run off quite quickly. Nice to see that little one. Does look quite warm and cozy curled up there. That's such a nice view of the duiker. See, busy ruminating. All the antelope are ruminants, so they've got that 4-chambered stomach, and then you can actually see every now and then how this duiker regurgitates some food and re-chews it. So it's mixed with enzymes, and there, just swallowed it again. Let's watch. There, do you see that? Do you see that regurgitating of the food there? It goes down the throat, down the neck. That was really interesting to see. So obviously it goes into there, it's swallowed again. Let's see if it does it again. There, look at that. Amazing. So for those of you who haven't heard about the ruminants before, let me quickly explain it. The ruminants are animals that have a 4-chambered stomach. So what happens is, it's amazing how this duiker is ruminating now. So the 4-chambered stomach is a very efficient digestive system or way of digesting food. So as they feed, they swallow the food. It goes into a chamber of the stomach, gets mixed with the enzymes to break it down. Then what happens is it basically gets stored there for a while, and then when they do stop to lie down or rest, they'll regurgitate the food, just like this Duiker is doing. They re-chew that food, break it down even more. They then swallow it again. It then passes through that same chamber and then through the other 3 chambers of the stomach. So that is a very efficient way of digesting food. So they get all the nutrients out of the food. I've never actually watched a Duiker I've never seen a Duiker doing that before. Duiker or Duiker, however you'd like to pronounce it. Now, some of you were wondering if this Duiker is pregnant. It won't be. It won't be, and I'll tell you why. And if we have a look, you might see again. It won't be pregnant because you might just see 2 little horns on the top of the head. So it's a male Duiker. So it's definitely not pregnant. The females do not have horns. Only the male species have horns. Only the male of the species have horns. What a nice little sighting. Something different. See a little male Duiker ruminating. I read you asked how sharp are an antelope's teeth. So I'm trying to think they're not sharp. They do end in a sharpened edge, but they're not sharp like incisors or canines. But they've got, their teeth are mainly a row of flat teeth, some that overlap slightly, so they are sharp in the extent that they'd be able to, excuse me everyone, and be able to chop vegetation and feed on grass and leaves and that, but not sharp in terms of having sharp canines or incisors. I think our team in the Mara is still struggling a little bit with their technical issues. So you're stuck with me for the morning so far. Sorry everyone. We'll see, hopefully we find some more animals around, but that Duiker was fascinating. And another animal you can actually see ruminating quite clearly is a giraffe. You can see what's known as a bolus. That's that food ball that gets transported up and down. And you can see obviously in a giraffe with its long neck, you'll see that little ball of food going up the throat into the mouth. They reach it and swallowing it again. Tony Tutos, you say it's the first time you've seen or had a close-up of a ruminant ruminating like that. I'm glad you got to see that. It is very interesting, Tony. It's not something you see often. Out here at times we don't often stop to notice things like that. People say, oh, there's a Duiker, see it, and then off you go. But if you stop and you really watch and kind of examine the animals almost to an extent, you get to see interesting behavior like that. MH, you were asking about the African cuckoo and if we've heard any African cuckoo calls lately, and I have indeed. I'm just listening to the radio quickly. no updates for us. So the African cuckoo, and I'll actually play the call for you quickly. I heard the African cuckoo calling the other day, and I've seen 2 since I've been back. So hopefully I'll be able to find some for you, or at least 1 or 2. African cuckoo. Let me just show you a picture of it. That's the African cuckoo. Now, the cuckoos all have wonderful calls. I love the cuckoos. I'll just show you quickly, because they do start arriving from, well, as early as August, September, but we definitely didn't see them around August, September. Well, not that I didn't see any. But listen to the call quickly. It sounds so similar to the African hoopoo, so you can get a bit confused with it. Hear that? Now it just does 2 hoots. Let's call it a hoot, even though it's not an owl. 2 little hoots. That's the African cuckoo. But let me play the hoopoo for you, just so you can hear the difference, because they sound so similar. But this does 3. So it's 3 quick hoots, little hoots. But sometimes people do get a bit confused with the hoopoo and the African cuckoo. They sound similar. Oh, that's the African hoopoo. It's always nice to go through these different bird calls, especially now moving into summer. We're going to get a lot of migratory species returning. We've already got quite a few: the Wahlbergs, eagles, the African cuckoo. What else have we seen already? Trying to think what else we've seen or heard. Some of the other cuckoo species. I think Tristan saw some sandpipers at the waterhole the other day. Louise said Tristan saw some pipers at the waterhole the other day. So I thought he found a bunch of Scottish guests on their bagpipes, maybe. No. So it's the sandpipers that also have returned, some of the sandpipers. The sun is starting to break through the clouds now. That's good. Maybe burn off some of this cloud cover, possibly warm up a little bit later. Now, last time I was here, we did a bit of a bird challenge, tried to see how many birds we could get on camera in about a week, just over a week, and we got 104 species. I was very happy with that. We're not going to do that again. Apparently James James found it a little bit tedious. He kept teasing me. I know he was only joking, but he was teasing me about it. So the longest bird challenge ever. Right, there's a beautiful hornbill. Have a look. Oh, 2 of them, yellow-billed hornbills. Always nice to see these beautiful hornbills, and they I must admit, I think the hornbills have got such great character. They're always picking at the ground, looking for insects, jumping around. There we go. There's 2 or 3 down there at the moment. I can hear ground hornbills in the distance. Speaking of the hornbills, that deep booming sound of the ground hornbill. Something like that. You can just hear them quite far away. I don't think you'll be able to hear them. Have a look at that hornbill. See what I mean about character, running around looking for food. Rick, I've never seen crowned cranes here at Djuma or within the Sabi sands. I've never seen them. I'll show you all a picture of the crowned cranes. Beautiful cranes, but yeah, I've never seen here, Rick. I've seen them in Botswana. There we go, let me just show you a picture of that quickly. Those are the crowned cranes. But yeah, I've never seen out here, Rick. But I have seen them in Botswana. See, it shows that they do kind of occur a little bit up here. Yeah, but in Kruger, I've never seen them. See, down at the coast a lot, KwaZulu-Natal, so the coastline, the eastern part of South Africa. Apparently the guys have been seeing them in the Mara a lot, so they are up there. But I've never seen in the Sabi sands. James, are you wondering when do I think the woodland kingfishers will arrive? Oh no, we always try and take bets on this to see who's going to get closer to when the first woodland kingfisher arrives. I don't know, I think sometime early November, mid-November. Can't remember when they arrived last year. Yeah, I think it was around mid-November last year. I think the woodland kingfishers arrived. Now that is often a sound associated with summer. So for me, summer is, you can hear a lot of bird calls, but that woodland kingfisher and another one, the red-chested cuckoo, I always associate those with summer. I've heard one or two red-chested cuckoos already, so there are some around. We haven't taken our bets for when we think the first woodland kingfisher is going to arrive, but apparently Tristan won the bet on the rain, when the first rains would arrive. Oh dear, now Lou's putting me on the spot, asking when I think the first woodland kingfisher is going to be seen here. Is it seen or heard, Louise? Or what is it when we see the first one, or when? Okay, so the first one seen on camera, the 18th of November. It's going to be my bet, I think. Yeah, I think Wiem and I, we did see the first one last year, Wiem. Wiem says it's all a blur to him. When do you think the first one's going to come, Wiem? 10th. The 10th. Wiem says the 10th of November. Louise is saying the 5th of November, Guy Fawkes Day. Well, find out from Tristan this afternoon. I think he'll be on drive this afternoon. We can ask him what he thinks. It's strange driving around Djuma, just one presenter, and not having someone else around and the vehicles around. Now, it does obviously help having another vehicle around, and also kind of miss the banter. Tristan and I often used to tease each other and make each other laugh. And James, although James is coming back to Djuma, I think towards the end of the month. Such a beautiful bird. Let's see if we can get it. Hold on. There's actually a few around here. Just hoping it stays there. No, obviously not. Golden-breasted bunting. I know you've seen them all before. They're all over here at the moment, but there we won't see the color and look into the light. Don't worry, Viam, it's a bit. Let's see if we can try and get one. There we go. The golden-breasted bunting. Just flew off. Obviously there's quite a few of them around here. One sat on this side of the road. You could see that beautiful yellow golden breast very clearly. We approaching that hyena den, so let's have a look. Now it's overcast and windy, so I don't know if they will be out. Let's try our luck and see. We had a lovely sighting of the 3 young ones yesterday, but you also don't want to hang around the den if there are no adults here. Don't want to draw any unnecessary attention to the den. Like I say, with this weather, in the past I've just seen the hyena, if it's windy and cold, the youngsters stay in the den. Let's have a look. We'll have a look on the other side here quickly. No sign of youngsters, just as I thought, or adults for that matter. It's funny that sometimes it's windy, cold conditions like this. Animals don't like it very much. They tend to stay hidden, or maybe in thickets or in the burrows like these young hyena. Michael, you asked if I've got any more bush breakfasts planned for this cycle. Not at the moment, Michael. Not at the moment. Would be nice. Now I know there were a lot of comments on that little bush breakfast I did, and it was a lot of fun, and everybody seemed to enjoy it. Everybody was wondering why my apron was turned upside down, or why I had an apron in the beginning. So I thought it would be funny, obviously, if I wore an apron. But the apron that they gave me was a Christmas apron, so I couldn't wear the Christmas apron in the middle of, what was it, July, July or August. So I turned it inside out. I turned it inside out, and everybody was wondering why it was turned inside out. It's because it was a Christmas apron. So it just didn't look appropriate. But that was quite fun. Something I did do with guests now on our last trip was a bush dinner. Now that was really enjoyable. You get to sit around a fire, and we did, believe it or not, we did little pizzas. We did some steak. We had little salads in jars, and just sitting around the fire. That I enjoyed too. So put my cooking skills to the test with that. And Louise is saying maybe a Byron's bush dinner at some point on Safari Live. Who knows? Perhaps when we have a braai. Now, braai, some of you might be wondering what that is. It's what we call a barbecue in South Africa. I think in Africa in general, it's called a braai. B-R-A-A-I. It's when you cook over an open fire and whatever you might be cooking. Right, so we're still hoping our friends in the Mara, or hoping they haven't washed away from the rain that they had last night. There's a lovely bird, a grey hornbill, just gave a wonderful whistle. I wonder if it does it again for us. I'm going to try to balance on that thin little branch, marula branch in the wind. It gives you an idea of how windy it is. Look how it uses its tail to keep it balanced. There we go. Did you hear that whistle? Quite a high-pitched whistle. Oh, you might also be able to hear the wind. Now the wind has picked up quite a bit. Oh, there it goes. Perched through there somewhere again. Yeah, just hiding in the branches. Well camouflaged. That coloration, it blends in nicely to these grey branches. Some giraffe tracks along here, but not very fresh. Seems like yesterday, and I say that because I can see some other little antelope have walked over them, possibly a little steenbok on the looks of it. I'm really disappointed with those monkeys this morning. They got my hopes up. Meanwhile, it was just a stuffed toy in camp that they were alarm calling at. A lot of hyena tracks along the road here. Now I wonder if these aren't some of the tracks of the hyena we saw this morning, those 4 hyena walking around, because they did head off in this direction, so I think so. It's very possibly one of those hyena, or 2 of those hyena walked along here. It's interesting how here we go. There's a giraffe. I don't know if this is the giraffe that left those tracks. I don't think so. I actually just saw some other tracks along this road now that we turn onto, fresher ones from this giraffe. So that's a nice surprise. Yeah, the oxpeck is sitting on it. Oh, this male has got quite a hefty growth on the bit of on his forehead, on his skull. Have a look at that. That's interesting. Now, usually these old giraffe, they do form quite a bit of calcification around the skull. You do see these protrusions from the skull, not just those ossicones, but little knobs on the back and the front of the giraffe skull. But this is unusually large. That does look like a growth of sorts. Very interesting. Look at those lips and tongue busy working and feeding on the acacia tree. You can actually see those sharp thorns. They're quite inquisitive now. I wonder if we would see this giraffe ruminating. I don't think so, and I say that now because it's busy feeding, so it's getting the food into the stomach first, and then maybe later it will rest and ruminate and re-chew the food. Little oxpecker right on the chest of this giraffe. You have stumped me this morning with your question. You have asked, what is the origin of the word giraffe? I don't know. If anybody can maybe help us with that and tell us, I'd be interested to know. I'm not sure what the origin of the word giraffe or the origin of the word giraffe is. A number of magpie shrikes calling at the moment too, all perched up on a tree not far from us. Always nice seeing an old male giraffe. He does look quite old, quite dark coloration. It's got some little skin patches on him. That's from parasites that feed on the hair. But you can see he's got a beautiful dark pattern. Generally, older male giraffe tend to get a bit darker, but it is genetic. You can see beautiful dark coloration on that giraffe. There's one of those little areas that have been eaten by parasites. And Jared's buddy, you asked, do giraffes ever puncture themselves on those thorns, their lips? You know what, I don't know. To be honest, it would be just cleaning its nose with its tongue. See how long that tongue is? Some of the tongues can get up to about 45 centimeters long. So very long tongues. Now, I don't know if they ever puncture themselves. Their lips and tongues, from what I understand, are quite tough. So I don't think so. And I don't think they would feed on these branches if it was unpleasant for them. They enjoy feeding on these acacia trees. Rich in nutrients and quite tasty, the leaves of these acacias. That's why they've got the thorns, is to try protect them, because the leaves are so good to feed on. but it obviously doesn't stop the giraffe.